I'm good with that. Screen record, screenshot.
Okay.
That's how I did when I do the move of the event the other day.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. We're just finding new hotkeys. You taught me how to you taught me how to change a file name from like a JPEG to a PNG to a
to convert it.
Convert it.
Yeah.
I forgot completely how to do that, but I do believe that that's like a very important skill set to have.
Wait, you did? Like you don't know how?
No, I don't know how to do it. I mean, you don't use it
like this, and then it says quick actions.
Quick actions. Convert image. Wow.
HIF.
I really don't like the HIF.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
It's like, what's the point of a HIF if it's not compatible with anything?
Yeah.
Thanks for the HIF.
What is that for?
What's up, everybody? Welcome Tuesday, as Kyle and I figure out how to work, how to do life. You know, we're just trying to figure things out. So welcome to the show, everybody. We got a really good one today. I'm actually really excited this week and next week and even the week after. We've got like a killer setup and then guests and then it's World Cup and then it's going to be a really good one. I'm actually already going to be out at World Cup, so we'll be able to host the show regularly on a Tuesday. You're going to be out there also.
Yeah.
So we'll be live on a Tuesday. We don't have to move it to Wednesday. It'll be at World Cup. That's still a month away, which is actually also pretty crazy. Like it's like we're I think it's official. Like this time,
everything's
1
kind
month
of went
from now.
like a little bit slow because I'm like.
You think it went slow?
Well, no, like just
World
how
Cup?
fast, how everything's coming up. No, not the whole year, but like these last like after this event. Like I'm like WCPL, we have had like 4 weeks.
I know. And yeah, we got WCPPL coming up. We got practice for that coming up. Figuring all that because we play you guys, and we play TJ Bastards, I believe. Sorry, and Bloodhawks. So that means practice is really difficult to do.
Wait, when?
I think we're in the same division. Narcos and TJ Bastards.
Oh, I haven't looked at that.
I think.
Something in my head.
So, anyway, lots of big stuff going on here. So welcome everybody to the show. Really excited for it. Make sure you guys are all commenting in there. We got a top fan, Mr. Sturgos, Doc, Steve Segovia up there with Meter, and Meter's got 50 experience points.
Wow.
Yeah, tied for third. Third place, Meter.
I gotta check this.
Just made a banner. We just worked on a banner with meters on it right there for World Cup. Speaking of World Cup, and speaking of stuff. Make sure you keep that door closed, huh?
Well, I think I had an eyelash in my eye.
I got an eyeball in my eye. It's a dad joke right there. So anyway, we've got Dan Shelley coming on today on the show to talk about his book Finding Me. We're going to talk about all sorts of questions with him, and actually, I think it's a great book for a lot of people to read because it does take it takes a lot for people to admit a lot of things that he.
I thought you were gonna say it takes a lot for people to read.
It takes a lot of people to read too, but he also narrated the audiobook player. So you can listen to the audiobook when you're going up to ASG.
I know how to read.
Oh, I don't.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. I want to say I can count on one hand, like cover to cover, books that I've read. Maybe like half of a hand. Like my front 3 teeth, I think I can count. Not something to brag about, though. So, yeah, and congrats to those of you who won last week on the ProFlex Builder. And hopefully you guys all got your ProFlexes ordered. It's pretty cool.
Do you have docs? We gotta show docs.
Throw docs up here because docs.
Wait, me? You
don't have it? It's on. See, that's.
Wait, I can send it. You can.
You send it.
I just didn't know if you had it.
So Doc also submitted one.
We need to show docs.
And we apologize, but Kyle thought that was mine because we were in a shared group chat.
Yeah, I was like, we're not showing Ryan's.
So, yeah, I don't know if Candy Cane Lane would have made it as a finalist anyhow, but I appreciate the effort there, Doc.
I mean, I don't know. What didn't the one? The
Green Gobbler
so
also
Candy
made
Cane
it.
might have won.
So Candy Cane could have won. That's actually a good point.
I don't know how we didn't pick that one.
Big thank you to all of our show supporters. Also, we give away a lot of prizes. We got a lot of good prizes lined up for the next couple of months. Then we go to World Cup and we ransack the entire deal. We can just ransack everything that we can, and we come back with even more prizes and goodies. And we'll have our we'll have our annual holiday giveaway. I actually, it's funny because I was mentioning it and I threw up a receipt right here. But last year we did this, just a fat $1,000. It's actually really fun. $1,018 at Target for Toys for Tots. And then we go over and bring them. Actually, these went to the Boys and Girls Club, not Toys or Tots. It's actually really interesting how, I mean, maybe those types of places are volunteers only. It's actually surprising how difficult it is to give away stuff without like kind of like going to a shelter. But like, I sent countless emails last year to the Boys and Girls Club, like the local chapter, 0 replies. And finally I was like, hey, I'm going to come over because I worked with somebody here last year. I'm just going to come over and drop off toys. I got $1,000 worth of toys. And I just showed up and they were really stoked, but like, and I got
that one year was understandable because it was COVID.
Well, and then that was the strange one also. Remember we kept trying to give them away and everybody's like, no, sorry, we don't take gifts. People don't give gifts.
Yeah, we don't want to hear poisonous gifts.
So then we went to we had to like go to the children's hospital and we're like, hey, we've got toys like in wrappers, wrapped in wrapping paper. Like there's kids here undoubtedly who would love to have presents. Can we drop off? It was a car full of toys.
Yeah,
it was really cool. And once they saw it, they're like, oh, okay, yeah. People don't do this. Like, no, people don't donate toys or anything for the kids. So it was just like kind of strange. They were trying to figure out the angle. So anyway, I appreciate everybody's support in all of our holiday fundraisers. It's raffles, fundraiser, whatever you want to call it. But it's really nice to be able to do stuff for people in need, communities in need, and all that stuff. So that's coming up on the watch list. Make sure you guys are dialed in all holiday season long as we kind of doing that sort of stuff here. And then also one big thanks to all of our show supporters and sponsors. I know everybody who is a member of the show, put your name on the wheel. We spin that wheel like we just talked about, but also behind the scenes, we got our man Doc over there, social media manager, Steve and Chris, Joey also kind of helping with the moderation. And just in case some of you guys want to say very mean things, it only happens when we're like really blowing up. Mm-hmm. But also to Pate Smith and Pate Smith Law for supporting paintball. Obviously, a non-endemic sponsor, a sponsor who's not involved in paintball, but just loves paintball and loves what everybody's doing in the sport. Obviously, he plays paintball out in the Houston area, but also he's a great dude and helps people. He's one of the lawyers that are like the good guy lawyers. So if anybody who is negotiating any type of, thanks, Doc. Any type of legal claims against insurance companies, he's your guy. It is hurricane season. It's always earthquake and fire season in California, and it's
it's cool to say. Let me talk to my lawyer. If I don't have a lawyer, then
now you got one. You know what I mean? I need to make fun. I need to call my lawyer. Yeah, that's as good as gets.
Yeah.
So, Pate Smith
cool
is your guy.
I would think now with all of these AI advancements, like as we talk about it, like on the bottom of the screen, it's like shines, on the banner.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I just don't know if there's been this is a free platform we're using. OBS is free. So I don't know if they're like putting in, I don't know if there's like an AI agent in here that's like bing bong. We can just do all these.
Maybe I can dock that up. So that when we're talking about it, I'll hit play and then
I can push a little button. We can put a little graphic going on here. We can
like neon.
Yeah, we had one for BFP Gear for a while when they had the Dynasty frames. It was like that little graphic that popped up like right here. I mean, it's basically a better version of this guy. So every time we talk about Pate, like something like this happens, except kind of like a little cooler.
Yeah, like shines around that.
Yeah, we just need to get
logo.
Yeah, exactly. We just need to get some sort of more than we can make some cool graphics. We can make their logo shine a little bit, like bing. And then we're talking about Gen X Global and the pods. We got the pods everywhere. We're giving pods away. As a matter of fact, Alex Harvey, I'm sorry that you live in Canada because Canada does not like free pods being shipped up there. So if you are Alex Harvey, you won a pod a while ago from Gen X. We're gonna have to dumb that down, but we're gonna have to figure that out. So thank you, Gen X and Gen X Global over there to hooking up the guys here with pods. And Junior and Gino mentioned BFPgear.com, but if you guys are going to go shopping, especially this holiday season, it's BFP Gear's Black Friday paintball. Black Friday is literally like 40 days away. Biggest shopping sale of the entire year. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be buying stuff right now because, the whole Amazon deal. Like you heard about how Amazon just raises their prices before Prime Day.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, people were keeping track. So this guy did a running tally of the stuff he's ordered over the last 6 months.
Yeah.
And then went and found every single item and then compared every single one. Most of them were more expensive than when he bought it.
Jeez.
I think on average it was like a 0.8% increase. So his entire bill over the last 6 months, had he bought everything on a Prime Day, would have increased by like just around 1 percentage point.
Damn.
Also explains why Amazon stock for the last 5 years is sideways. I think 5 years it's up to 30%. But there's big things coming there. Don't take it financial advice from me, but I believe that Amazon is on the cusp of something big. However, a lot of it's tied to retail shopping, which is an up and down. Lots of up and downs.
You work for them and you can't tell us, or
no. I literally
it's just too long.
Between prepping for the show from 6:15 a.m. until 3:45 p.m. while I'm prepping through the show, I'm also just refreshing my stock portfolio and then looking at news all day and just figuring out. Got some great SPY scalps today at the bottom. Yeah. Got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of great things going on. So spend all of your hard-earned money that you're making in the stock market over the last several years at bfpgear.com. And jtpaintball.com. There's a bunch of new stuff up there unreleased to the public, or like the retail shop, so it's only available on jtpaintball.com. Good. Like these nice. It's getting a little cold.
Yeah.
Got a lot of these things. These types of
I like those.
These athletic venture series items are pretty good. We got some new pants coming out. We got some new goggles coming out. We got all sorts of stuff coming out. Need them to make a dry fit hoodie with the fit design from bfpgear.com. So actually, glad you mentioned that. There will be a team series version of these type of 4-way stretch hoodies. They're called the Breeze hoodies. There will be team editions debuting at World Cup, so we'll have some samples. We'll get guys, a bunch of guys will be wearing them out there. So they're great. These are like, winter gear is tough to sell, or like cold weather gear is tough to sell, especially like this summer has been incredibly hot, and it literally went from 85 degrees, and then all of a sudden it just dropped to 65. There was no like gradual come down here in California, at least.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad about this cooler weather.
Said today it feels like 58.
It was nice today.
It was.
I'm excited to go to sleep tonight because it's gonna be nice and cool in the house.
And I like hot weather, so I was like, man, really, we got too much hot weather this summer.
Yeah, Baja Blasters. Let's get some stickers. Let's get you on the show, Baja Blasters. I feel like we could probably fit you in right over here somewhere, right next to Alex FRAIGE's face. Maybe we put Alex FRAIGE's face inside the Baja Blasters splat. Hit us up. We'll get you guys in there. There's space for sale here. You know, we can get a sponsor that sponsors the joking little guy up there. So like this joke's brought to you by Baja Blasters or something, you know. And then also the boys from NECTR for keeping us pepped up here on a daily basis. Barry Blast. If you guys get a prize from the Spick and Span show, it is surely going to come with one of these NECTR pouches. It is a non-nicotine, no nicotine in these things. It's a mix of caffeine and nootropics pouches. You play on these things. You kind of get through the day on these things.
Surf. I
surf way better. It's like statistically proven that I have a better surf. I got this knee issue though, so I've not really been able to surf. Like yesterday, Monday was like yesterday was all time. It was like epic conditions.
Was it?
Yeah.
Dang.
Didn't go, but I did surf with Skemp on Saturday morning. But it was more like I just kind of floated around.
Yeah.
I didn't do much.
Yeah.
I just kind of got out there.
Did you watch that movie?
Which one? Probably not.
Remember we were talking about doing that on...
No, I didn't watch any movies. Although I did see, I don't know if it was a review. Has anybody seen Tron Ares?
That's what we were talking about.
Yes. So it, I guess, was maybe possibly the biggest box office flop of Jared Leto's career.
Really?
Yes.
It was bad? What were the ratings?
It looks like 50, 60%. Half. It's got a half. I don't know how.
Same thing with that HIM movie that Tyler.
Oh, but I heard that just objectively wasn't good. This one is just, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't do well. But I did see something over there said that it was not very great.
Yeah, but maybe it's just the special effects.
Oh wow, Jared Leto's in another movie, so maybe it could be Jared Leto. He just might not be. He might not be the jam.
Yeah, we could just watch Superman again instead. What is that?
This is going on. So this is the upcoming Jared Leto movie. I think he's signed a couple deals here, and that is Masters of the Universe, which is He-Man.
Why did it just have that many times?
Well, because I don't think they filmed it yet. I think it's basically they're a little worried about his upcoming movie. Yeah. So that's kind of what they do. Has anybody seen that? No desire to see it. Anything is better than Superman. That's absolutely correct. So I want to see it. Finis08, let us know how it is, because I was trying to sneak out to go watch it, but I couldn't. And Clint, has anybody seen the Masters of the Universe movie from like the 80s with Dolph Lundgren? Dude, that movie was so sick.
Who's Dolph Lundgren?
What? You don't know Dolph Lundgren?
I don't know.
He's the Russian face. Bad guy in Rocky 2, I believe it is.
The big one? Like if he dies Russian?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Isn't Rocky 2?
Yeah, what is it?
Rocky 4. That was Rocky 4?
Yeah, it was a later one.
Oh, really?
I think that was like the final one. Right?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, there's about 15 of them.
But he's like done fighting after that one, or he kept fighting?
I think he was after. That was Rocky 4. 15? No way. There's like 20 Rocky movies.
No, I don't think that's right.
Yeah, because you got to count Creed in there.
Those aren't Rocky.
They're definitely Rocky movies.
It's called Creed.
Okay, but Rocky. How many Rocky? Get it up here. Come on. Let's figure out how many Rockies are there. Yeah, if he dies, he dies. That's it. Yeah, because in Creed 2, I could be off. Creed 2, he fights the Russian guy who was the Dolph Lundgren's son. Dolph Lundgren was in one of the Creed movies.
I just don't have all the names memorized. How many?
Rocky 3 is Tyson.
Okay, all you guys
6 Rockies,
that are making fun of me.
6 Rockies, 3 Creeds. So I was close. Don't know his
9. Name. How many?
Dude, Dolph Lundgren was in so many good movies.
Okay, maybe. Sorry, is he in Die Hard as like one of the bad guys?
No. I don't think so. Lundgren, this guy.
He's in that.
He's a great Expendables, Universal Soldier, epic movie.
He's in that movie.
Creed 2, Rocky 4,
where the dad's trying to get the
Masters of the Universe
action figure at Christmas.
No, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Jackass. Masters of the Universe, 1987.
Amazon.
That movie was so sick. I'm gonna play you a trailer after this, and you're gonna. This is a movie that you would love.
What is it?
Do you remember He-Man? Have you ever like hung out? Like, have you ever played with He-Man? I know you've never hung out.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, He-Man was rad.
Yeah.
That's like a
good action figure.
Yeah, it's a good action figure. Why do you make this thing smaller?
The command negative.
No, but just this picture here is always so big it doesn't fit the screen. So anyway, is that the guy from Toy Story? Damian Vasquez, Ivan Drago, Rocky 4. We got it.
Ivan Drago, yeah. That's
Ivan Drago. So,
that's a good name.
Anyway, we've gotten we gotten zero paintball stuff talking about right now, which is actually kind of nice. Zen Paintball. Wait, he has a chemical engineering degree? Dolph Lundgren? I mean, it just doesn't seem like. I feel like no 1980s action movie guy would have. I feel like they were all in balls deep on action films, and they were like.
Arnold's got quite the resume though.
He does now.
Yeah.
He does now, and it took a while for that to go down, but anyway, I'm gonna start up this. I'm gonna start up the little Zoom meet here. Get our guest primed and ready to go. So we've got like I said, Dan Shelley coming on today, and we're going to talk to him about his book. We're going to talk to him about paintball. If you guys have any questions for Dan Shelley, especially those of you who are coming up in the paintball scene as a creator, I think that that's actually the best way to look at it is if you guys are creators up and coming who want to break into the space. I always say that paintball players or professional paintball players especially are very approachable and easy to talk to, and we're just easy to get a hold of also, and very willing to talk to. So I think one of the big things is just kind of go up to somebody. But if you guys have any questions on how Dan specifically broke into paintball, please make sure you guys throw them into the Q&A, or sorry, down here, and we'll make sure that you guys we get the question answered for you. So we're gonna jump over here to the NECTR projector, and we're gonna get Dan Shelley in here momentarily. Application capture. Boom, boom, boom. Booyah. Dan.
What's up, guys?
Oh. What's going on here?
It takes a long time to do like a nice Instagram story with all the tags and all this.
I know it.
It's
I know
like,
it. How you doing? Check. Let's see if you're here.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2.
Mic check. 1 2 and 2. Damn, look at that camera you got. Holy crap,
Much
dude.
better mic setup from our podcast we had a few months ago at Fiasco.
I thought you were gonna say much better than yours.
He was.
Two guys. Yeah. Then you caught yourself. You're like,
you got yourself, and we're like, it's only been 10 seconds since I've been on the show.
Came on you guys'
Better
show
not
tell you how much it sucks.
Marcelo paid me a lot of money to say it, but
I mean
that they own the show, so
yeah, they own the show.
sold
It's
it to
them. It's their fire. It's their dumpster fire. Let me ask you this: how do you blur out the background?
There's a few things. So the lens I have is made for that, but then if you're on if you're on a Mac, you can go to there's like a little camera in your toolbar, and I think there's something that's called portrait mode, where there's a slider where you can make the background a little bit more blurry too.
Well, we have a third party camera.
Yeah, that's where you're not gonna be able to do that.
Okay.
we've
got a third party
camera. You could do that on like a Zoom call.
Yeah, there's a blurred background. I don't know. It's just like that depth of field. The what's that called? What's it called?
I
Depth
bet
of field,
there's a setting on there.
Bokeh is in the
Bokeh. That's the one.
You haven't looked at it probably up there, the Brio thing.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm sure there's a setting, but we liked it. Oh, image adjustments. What's up?
Yeah, I mean this for sure.
Look at all this stuff. We can lower the sharpness. Anyway,
really dark.
Filters.
Anti-flicker?
Filters.
Oh, filters. Ooh. The glaze. Not sure how that's a glaze. Original. Go to original.
Right?
Anyway, let's not mess with anything, because when we tend to mess with things, the whole situation can fall apart. So Dan, welcome to the show again. Let's just jump straight into it. Let's talk about your book, what you have here. So I think everybody's got a good idea of you launching the book, but congratulations. That's really cool that you wrote another book, because the kid's book was rad. A much easier read. Not like this one was difficult by any means, but this is awesome. Publishing stuff, the accolades that you've achieved in paintball in a relatively short time. But why don't you just give a little introduction and let us know kind of what you got cooking and what you're doing and what's happening.
Yeah, first and foremost, I appreciate it, and thanks for having me on the show. This book is much different, obviously, from the children's book, and it's crazy because like as soon as I announced it, I had so many people like, I can't read, and like that's the joke in paintball, right? Is like, where's the pictures? More children's books, but this one, Finding Me from Imposter to Icon, I started it right after Las Vegas, right after the award ceremony, maybe like 3 weeks after it. And when I won the award, I was just like, it was so cool to win it, but then I was like, man, it still doesn't feel real, right? Like I was reliving the moment and it still just didn't feel like I had earned it. And I think that was one of the first times that I realized I was struggling with imposter syndrome. And so I've been like so hyper focused to imposter syndrome over the past few years. And as I progress, through the paintball media, it's at a point now where like people are coming up to me and they're like, hey, I'm so nervous to meet you. And I'm like, hold on a second. Like, I'm just a guy taking pictures here. Like, there's no reason to to be nervous. And then those conversations spill into, photographers and folks being like, well, I'm afraid my work isn't good enough, or I'm nervous about this, or I'm nervous to talk to you guys, the pros. And so it just made me realize that so many people struggle with some type of imposter syndrome, whether you're comparing yourself to somebody, or you're afraid to do something because of somebody else. And so that was really the premise of the book. And it really talks about the journey from starting, picking up a camera all the way till winning that award, and all the ups and downs from it. There's a lot of some really sad moments in there. And I really go into how I struggled with it and how I'm overcoming it. And some of the feedback so far has just been super deep and personal from people like, hey, me too, kind of, right? Like, I struggle with this, especially in the paintball community. So it's been a really fun journey connecting with a lot of people who are going through similar things, and we just don't even know it when we're at a paintball field.
And is imposter syndrome, like, obviously I think probably the name alludes to like the definition, but like, how might it apply to, like, I don't know, like if there's any more like intricate psychology about like how people feel that way?
I don't know about the psychology side of it, but I think it's a lot of, I see it sometimes on the pro level, like on your guys' level, where somebody will join a new team and then I'll talk to them and be like, yeah, you know what, but like, I just still don't know if I deserve to be here. Like, I don't know if I fit in, or I'm so nervous I'm going to mess up on my first event. That's a part of imposter syndrome. You're nervous of letting people down. You're nervous that all these eyes are going to be on you and you're going to fail. And then how do you handle that failure?
Sure.
So that's one part of it.
One of the things that I say, and I know it's not quite the give advice time yet before we talk, but before I forget, is one of the things that I always tell people, especially players, right? Because everything's like hyper focused, and people put all this emphasis on the coaches of like them making these decisions on whether I'm a good player or not, and so a lot of players tend to play this like no mistake paintball, which in my opinion tends to be more mistake laden than anything else, right? You just kind of second guess everything you do, because if you don't want to get yelled at, essentially.
Or
right.
But what happens too, I see with like good players too. Mm-hmm. They're like, I just want to be perfect. And what I found a really good thing to say to them, I go, name one person that's won a golden barrel or an MVP that went through a whole tournament and they didn't get shot once.
Right.
Or didn't lose a point. I was like, it's part of the game.
A lot of it's validation, right? I think when we're doing something that we're so passionate about, we're looking for validation, maybe from a coach or somebody in the media to say, hey, you did a great job. And I think sometimes if people don't get that, that's where the cycle starts of like, well, wait, I did get shot off the break X amount of times this event. Maybe I'm losing my step. So I think it's the validation piece that a lot of people look for.
For sure. And what I think that one of the biggest things is, as long as you make a mistake, do it with confidence.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you're going to blow it, like, I'm not saying like blow it big and be like, well, the whole house is burnt down. Like, you make the mistake with confidence. Like, I understand what the risks were that were involved in me playing this way or doing this, somewhat recklessly, or with less recklessness, or whatever it might be. Like, insert that into however you like it. But what I think is really important is you did it with confidence. So you can then always adjust forward or backwards. You can add a little bit more to something. You can take a little bit back off of it. But if you never live outside your comfort zone and making those possible mistakes, then you're always going to fit into this one little bubble, and you're just going to kind of like be in here, right? So maybe that kind of like leads into it. Again, the idea of the imposter syndrome, that term I'd never heard of, right? I've never heard of this before you had brought it to my attention.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess it makes sense, right? Well, obviously it makes a lot of sense, but it's kind of one of those things, because I think that everybody you always paint this picture of what life should be. And a lot of people are led to believe that they could be anything that they want to be, which is kind of like an unfortunate farce there, because like you can kind of within boundaries, right? There are outliers in this scenario, but a lot of people, you have to have you have to have the ability to reason and be reasonable with the outcome of what life is going to be. And if you set these never-ending boundaries of like I'm very confident that right now in my life, I probably won't become an astronaut. You know, like, could I do it? Is there an outside shot? Yeah, but if I just am like, I'm gonna do it, Camille, you support me? You know, it's just be like, hold on. But you have to have these expectations that are within the realm of possibility. And if sometimes when you have them so bloated or so far out of that, then you may fall into that kind of like, oh shit, I'm actually somewhere I'm supposed to be, but maybe I'm not.
I was just laughing because that would be like a scene from Interstellar when Matthew McConaughey leaves his family.
Yeah.
That would be
hey, Ryan, the world's about to die.
Like, you're too
there's
old
a
to
black
go there.
hole next to Saturn. You need to go up there because you're really good at paintball. Something like that.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, the world's over.
Yeah, like I think you just hit the nail on the head, right? Because if I go back to 3 years when I started as a photographer in paintball, my very first event was the Sunshine State Major, the one that you guys won. And that was my first time ever turning on a camera and shooting anything sports related on the pro field, nonetheless.
What year?
Hold on, wait. Yeah, that I have that written down.
Yeah. So that you want to talk like imposter syndrome. That's where like I'm standing on the pro field, which is already a coveted, very hard thing to get for any media. And I have this new camera that I don't really know what I'm using. I'm using it in auto mode, and I'm just taking pictures of everything, you know, just hoping to get something. And at some point in that weekend, and I talk about it in the book too, where I had put my media shirt on backwards. So like half the day I'm walking around with a backwards t-shirt, and like some guy's like, hey, your shirt's on backwards. And I'm like, oh, that was like, wow, so embarrassing. And I was almost going to pack it up and just retire right then and there.
We've done that a couple of times with paintball jerseys, for sure.
That's how Kyle gets into most concerts around here.
With a media shirt?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where it started for me was, you know, like, what am I doing here? Like, I'm at the highest level, and I'm next to Verbal, I'm next to Enrique and all the other guys that are just legends in the game and have been doing it for years. And I haven't even taken a photo yet. So it's just such a wild experience to go through all of that. And also capturing, you know, paintball at the highest form too.
Well, yeah, so let's talk about that. I mean, I think that a lot of people, this is a funny one. Like, so you became a professional paintball photographer in 5 days or whatever, without even taking a single photo. So, what's the secret handshake? Like, how did that work? Like, let's just give it up right here.
So I'm pretty sure there's like something called the Shelley rule now or something. But at the time, Austin Notorious had just become the new pro team, right? And they're at my local field, Outlaw. And if anyone remembers, their social media back then was just all over the place. And I had approached their owner. I was like, hey, you know, I've come from a marketing background. I think I can help out with your socials. And, you know, long story short, I took over their social media account for a little bit of time. And I was like, well, wait a minute, that just created a new problem. I don't have any content. And so I went out on the field with my phone and was taking photos, you know, at the local field. I'm like, well, it's great, but I'm not getting quality stuff. And then literally 5 days before the first event, I was talking with my wife, and I was like, hey, I think we've got something here. You know, I've got an opportunity. And she was just like totally on board with it. And so I overnighted a camera, a lens, and then I just figured I would get on the field. And so at the time, NXL had a $50 media pass that you could buy. And I was like, great, I'll buy a $50 media pass, show up, and rest is history. Come to find out that pass is only for divisional players or divisional fields and not the pro field. And so I think, I don't know, we were maybe two days, maybe a day away from leaving, and I just started to panic. I went through the NXL site, I went through all the rules, and there was nothing that said at the time that pass wasn't good for the pro field. And so I did what any crazy fool would do and emailed Tom Cole directly and was like, hey, this is what's going on. Like, I'm in a panic. We're about to leave for Florida. And then he called me that night and said, hey, show up and we'll figure it out. And so we drove, 16, 17 hours hoping we would get on the field for, Notorious's. They were the first event, of course, or the first set of the day. So we got there like literally an hour before in the morning and had no idea if I was going to be on the field or not.
I'm so happy that you tied Tom Cole's name in here, because I was gonna make a joke, or I was hoping that I was gonna try to feed you a joke of like, well, I just emailed Tom Cole because his email address is on the NXL website. But you did.
I did, yeah, I did.
So Gabe, because Gabe asked a question, what's the best advice you could give a younger guy trying to get into the photography game? I mean, if you're at the NXL, email Tom Cole and be like, yo, I need to take some pictures on the pro field. But for real, what type of advice would you give him in the photography game?
Yeah, I get that question a lot. Like, hey, how can I get to where you're at, or how can I, get to the top? And the biggest thing I say is just stay consistent. If you have a field that's within driving distance for you, try to make it out there a few times a month. It's rare that I'm not at the field on a Sunday. Like, it's really rare. And so that consistency over time has just taught me so much about not only the camera I'm using, but also taking all those years of paintball experience and mashing those two together. And then when I take a photo, it's how can I tell a story with that photo, right? And so it all ties to consistency. You got to put in the reps to do it, to start to like grow your game.
Yeah, that I think it just kind of it honestly is kind of the same for any type of anything that you gotta do. The more practice you get, the more experience you're gonna get, right? The more experience, the more practice, and the more experience you get, the better you're gonna be, right? I know it just like it's funny because your phone makes everything so dumbed down and so simple as from a photography standpoint. It's actually really funny because when you get an actual real camera in your hands and you're like, well, we got to switch these buttons. Like, I've got a nice camera, but I use it once every 2 years. And then when I actually do use it, I'm like, oh, hold on, what were all these settings again? Like, I forget what I'm supposed to do. But knowing like what you guys can do in real time, especially like when things are happening, in paintball is very unique because you also have to have an idea of how the game is played, so that you can anticipate what is going to happen. So as you're taking photos, and I love how Verbal's rig is, right? He's got that big, that big overhead, because now he can film and he can scan and see what's going on without like having that whole like pain. But same thing, like you're out there kind of watching like, okay, I need to know how this is going to set up and what's about to happen in order to be able to connect on these shots, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's a big part of it, right? Is I think for me, I've always really enjoyed storytelling. And whenever I see a photo, like you can show somebody two photos and one's going to hit differently than a different one, right? Mm-hmm. I always try to like, how can I get a feeling out of a photo? And it doesn't happen every time. But so much of it is reading the game and knowing the situation, so like, let's say if you and Kyler are going against each other and you're up 4-3 with 30 seconds to go, I'm gonna start to kind of lean towards your pit because you've got to come to me at some point, right? At some point you've got to get off the field, and so like that's where some players will show emotion. Archie's good for like throwing at the one, and so it's putting yourself in position to capture those moments. That's where I think a lot of it, a big part of it, comes from, is knowing the game and studying the game. And then the other part of it too is, for a lot of the pros, since I'm there all year with you guys, I pick up on your body language too. Like whether you guys know it or not, like some of the pros, they'll twist their barrel right before they go into the snake, or they do something with their pack right on the break. And so like I pick up on those things of like, okay, he's coming or he's going to stop short. And so I study a little bit of it too.
Might be able to sell that.
Yeah,
I know, right?
Pro team should hire Dan for.
I'll be on the coach show next week to talk about it.
Do you have any like funny ones that you know of that? I mean, I don't know. You could say without a player. Not...
Yeah, I don't want to give the player away.
Yeah.
But there is a player in the top four. I'll say the top four of teams who almost like does before he's about to come into the snake, he like does this kind of weird thing where he like looks over this way and then he like kind of kicks his foot back like he's trying to get traction. And every time I see him, I'm like, oh, he's coming at me.
You know, the one I like is after Aftershock Chronos, they screw their barrel on. They make sure it's tight.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one. That's an interesting
without
tip.
giving away, is that player you said on damage?
It is not, but he does wear a blue jersey.
Huh. Oh, well, we're not in the top 4 anymore.
Well,
Could be X Factor.
I just texted you, Ryan, so you'll be able to look for it now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, it's a dead giveaway every time.
He's just looking where the cameras are.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's how he is.
Or the rest.
Yeah.
But it's little things like that where, like, if I may be keying on a different player, but if I see that body language, like, okay, now I know I'm guaranteed to get some type of shot.
You mentioned something. So you mentioned storytelling just a minute ago, but you also you said that the Casey Neistat was a big influence of yours, right?
Huge, yeah, big time.
His stuff was awesome. I've watched a million of his videos. I think he was a big influence for a ton of creators, and maybe still is. I don't know. Does he still pump out? I don't think he needs to.
Once in a while. Yeah, he doesn't anymore, but every once in a while he'll drop a video. He did one a few weeks ago that was actually really good. He compared like AI versus like, real life with that new Sora that came out.
Right.
It's really good. And so his storytelling is just incredible. He could be doing laundry or doing like going to the grocery store and he'll make a good story out of it.
Well, and I mean, he has his like script, right? He did a really good job. You know what? The video that I absolutely, I feel like maybe had put him really on the map. He did a video with Nike. Remember the Nike video where he ran stage left of his door, and then it was him just running running all over the world essentially, and then it was him just running back to his door. I thought that one was really good. But yeah, he's got a very unique way of doing everything, which I'm sure he just has like constant amounts of B-roll for beginning and end, and then he tells the beginning of what he's going to do for the day or whatever it was. And but let me ask you this, because he's a vlogger, right? If you were Ronnie Dizon telling me this, or if you were, you're not as much of a vlogger though. You take photographs. So how was him influencing you in your photography? Like, how does that transition into photography? Exactly, storytelling essentially?
Great question. So he actually did a class like right around COVID, and so I ended up taking the class because I wanted to be a vlogger just like Casey and all that. But in that class, he really talked about the importance of telling a story, and he said, like the whole opening, middle, and end. And so what I took away from that and applied it to photography is it's that feeling when you watch like a YouTube video, or when you watch a movie that you connect with, or even when you see a photo, you get some type of feeling where you're like, oh wow, there's something there, and like you stop scrolling, you look at it for a second. That's the goal, is if you can get someone to like, holy cow, that's an incredible shot, or that's an incredible reel or sequence. That's the gold in trying to capture a moment. And that's where the story is for me. Like, I'll send you, if you want to, I just sent you a picture. If you want to pull that up at some point. So many times, like we've seen so many photos in paintball where it's just standard stuff, right? Where guys are behind the can, they're snap shooting. It's the same thing we've seen over and over again. But there's so many moments that happen before Go Sports turns on the camera and after Go Sports turns off the camera, that there's so many stories there. And we just don't capture that stuff. And so like in between sets, when, you guys are coming off the field, that's where like some of my favorite moments are to capture, because there's just so much emotion in the huddles. There's so much emotion while you guys are like breaking down whether you just won or lost a match. In the photo I sent you, that was from World Cup. Was that last year? I think
it's coming. Yeah, this is a sick shot.
Yeah, but like, so when this comes up, this photo just shows emotion, right? Like this is, I think NYX, this was like the last point that they had before they were getting relegated. Everyone had already left the field, and I think maybe this was CJ, got down to a knee and just broke down. And so when I posted that, like that was just everyone that saw it, they felt that emotion. They felt that moment. You could see the World Cup banners in the background. And so without even having to put a caption on that, that's a story right there.
Yeah.
Speaking of NYX, what would it cost to get a photo of Harris every time he leaves the porta potty at World Cup?
I don't know if there's a budget for that.
Just we just want him coming out of the porta potty, and that look of like looking around really quickly, like, you know, maybe say, "Hey, did you wash your hands?" Like, because we know you didn't, but then like just see the look on his face at that point.
It's all about the body language.
That would be that's like a human, you know, like everybody's been there. The immediate disgrace of having to leave the porta potty.
Especially when there's a line outside too.
For that look.
You've been in there all day.
Where you're like trying to see if anybody you know sees you walking out of there.
Yeah. Or we'll put the NYX toilet paper in there, and then when he comes out, he's gonna just be looking around laughing. Mm-hmm. That's another good one. So, Tiger wear umbrellas, NYX toilet paper. So, all right. World Cup's coming up. We're T-minus 30 days out, so we got to make sure all the promotional material is here. So, Junior from BFPgear.com sponsors question of the day. And I want to ask it sooner rather than later because oftentimes we'll end up covering it just by default. Yeah. But he was asking just straight up, what do you enjoy most about photographing professional paintball? Like what is it about professional paintball? I mean, obviously you have a history with paintball in general. And then the second part of that question would be if there were another sport you could photograph, not instead, like not like if you were someone else, but what else, if you could branch into from with what you know now, what other sport would you like to shoot?
Yeah, great question. And obviously a huge fan of Junior and BFP Gear. They sponsor my podcast too. So love those guys. I think the biggest thing for me with, especially on the pro level, it's, you know, because like this weekend I'll be in at Paintball Fit shooting the USXBL event, and it's great because I'm shooting a lot of my friends, but there's just something about being on the pro field with you know, the top players in the world. Like I feel like I have to elevate my game because I'm capturing the best of the best, and so I think I hold myself to a higher standard doing that, and I almost put more pressure on myself to, hey, I need to make sure I'm telling a story throughout the weekend, or capturing a certain moment or capturing a certain story. Yeah, I've thought about it. I've thought about shooting other sports. Like I would love to try football at some point, but I don't know if it would feel the same because I'm not as connected with any other sport that I am with paintball. You know, it's the only thing that's been consistent in my life since I've been a kid. Has been, you know, being a fan of paintball or being around it in some way.
I get you. Yeah, that makes sense, right? It's like, and that's why, and I think one of the things about you talking about like you being on the pro field, a lot of people take that for granted. I think
totally.
You know, and like when I walk out onto the pro field, I'm just like, oh, cool. You know, it's like whatever. To be honest. Because I've been doing it forever, but yeah. I do take that for granted. I take a lot of stuff for granted. I even took our 3-man win for granted, and I kind of forgotten, and just like we won it, and I was like, you know, thank God today's over. Yeah. You know, I didn't have a great weekend, but then Arturo was like, hey man, like this is, you know, Joe, Kyle Berry, and Mike Bianca's first pro win, and it was like that's not an easy. The 3-man was not an easy thing to win. Like that was not an easy event. No. But I often take things for granted sometimes, and even like some of our other big wins, I'm like, oh man, I messed up in this thing, and like, I don't know, I'm not always in that moment, but I would like for you to kind of explain a little bit about that feeling. Like you mentioned it about time on we're on the pro field, so I don't know, take me through that, because I fail to comprehend fully that feeling. Like I want to like live it, you know?
Yeah, I think it would be something similar, you know, for other sports fans. Like if you were to go to Yankee Stadium, like for the first time, or, you know, Lambeau Field, whatever your sport is that has like that hollowed ground that has just so much history. I think being there is kind of that same feeling. For me, you know, being a Dynasty fan for all of my life, and seeing all the other pros, like you see it on TV, you see it on Instagram, on Facebook, and that's all you know. And to be able to now share the same field with you guys, that's something that not a lot of people will ever get to experience. There's not another pro sport where you can literally stand on the same field as professional athletes, and be feet away from them capturing those moments without having to go through crazy like approvals to get on there and shoot for different companies and whatnot. So that's just something I still to this day, I don't take for granted. Like every time I turn that corner for the first time, it's like, holy shit, I've got a whole weekend now around the top players in the world. And it's an honor to be there. I'll share a story super quick. There was somebody at the last event here in Dallas, the first time, first pro media pass that this person's had, and she was just so nervous, like almost anxiety level nervous. And Ryan Gray was talking to her because I think she was shooting for the Red Legion. And I said, hey, let's go. Let's just get on the field the first time. So we walked out together, turned the corner, and like, I just looked back and I was like, wow, that's the same feeling I had the first time of like, I was almost pure panic, sweating of just nervous being out there. Because I think in the media space, we all shoot our local fields and our local players, but to be on the same field with the top players in the game, that's just, there's some type of feeling that you have. It maybe it's pressure, maybe it's, hey, there's only 30 of these spots or whatever the number of passes they give out for people in the world. To be in there in that moment is wild.
Yeah, that's, I guess, kind of a good point there too. I mean, I guess it would be a big moment, and also like you and you mentioned it too, right? A lot of times you're like, I hope I don't blow this opportunity. Right, because a lot of times you're there under someone else's like a media pass, and then they're just like, "This could be. I've got one shot at this, really." Right.
That's it.
And and it's actually kind of cool because sharing a story with Brad and Sean from No Hope Photos. Right, they're super new to the NXL type or professional side of photography, but I think it might have been World Cup last year. And I'd already kind of talked to him. I was like, yeah, I'll talk to somebody, see about getting you out. Like, we have a pass. Someone's got a pass. And again, to me, I was like, yeah, why wouldn't you be able to come on the pro field? And they're like, dude, you sure? And they came on the one match that we had against, I forget who it was, but the pictures came out excellent, and it was like that one little introduction really kind of changed a lot of the trajectory for them. And same with you, is like, it's a big deal. And again, I just take it for granted for like the opportunity that we have, you know, and that's why also I love how forthcoming you are, how like polite you are to just not only all the pro guys but all of us, and just like, you're very grateful, and you're not like anybody's really that stuck up. There's been, I think maybe a couple of photographers in the past that kind of had this like, too big for their britches kind of thing, but like, again, it's a smaller world, but you've handled everything and these accolades and like your prestige extremely well, and I love it.
You think you can have like a photo you could play with the camera, like a sling, and then you could just sling it over and then just like take a picture of Alex or something while you're playing?
Without a doubt. Rainey has the Meta glasses.
Oh yeah, true.
I think that would work better with one of those disposable cameras. Like,
I could see Alex doing on the photo. Yeah.
Like, imagine having this cool scavenger hunt where there's like a disposable camera in a couple of the bunkers. And if you get, like, that's what Great American Paintball should do. Have the scavenger hunt disposable camera, and like all of the photos that are that they, what do you call it? Now, what do you call it what's it called when you
take a photo?
No, when you process the photo. I forgot, you don't have to do that anymore. The actual film. What's it called again? When you put it in, like, you got the red room or the dark room?
Yeah, I know
exactly
what you're talking about.
When you process the film.
Nigel's thing.
When you process the film and develop the photo. Thank you.
Yeah.
And sorry, I just put us down a different. If you were gonna say something to Ryan's serious question.
No. So
it wasn't a question.
When you basically have one of the, like a couple cameras on each, like throw it in the bunker, and when you get in there,
no,
if you have time to take a selfie or a thing. This is a serious deal, dude. This is a serious deal. That could be in the new Great American. We're spitballing again. World Cup's coming up. We gotta get the content ready, man. And balm that photo.
It's actually a great idea. There are some like teams that they'll hand out those disposable cameras to like players or staff for the weekend. Like, hey, go capture whatever you want, and then they'll compile those photos and like they'll post those online. You kind of get some cool stuff from it because like you forget what it's like to take a photo where you can't zoom or anything, and kind of what you get is what you get. Mm-hmm. That's a fun way to do that. But Ryan, back to your question. Thank you for the compliment. I think for so long, and tying back to the book, I wanted to be somebody else. Like I wanted to be famous. I wanted to be somebody who everybody knew, and whatever it was. And I don't think I would have ever imagined being in this spot where like I'm a photographer and everybody knows me through this medium. And so I don't take it for granted. Whenever somebody comes up and they ask for a selfie or an autograph, or they're asking for my stickers, it's like the first time every time. It's something I'll never take for granted.
Sweet.
One thing that you mentioned, and I kind of want to just kind of bring it back, because I think that, I know for a fact, I know two of my friends who are still have issues from this, but you did mention how COVID-19 kind of had a big effect on you. Not the actual virus, not like actually getting COVID, but just like the whole, just the lockdowns and just just like the psychological side of the COVID era. And I think a lot of people still, like a lot of people even maybe watching this show probably have to deal with that. Like currently, I know a couple friends, like I said, who just, it still messes them up, just some sort of psychological thing. Can you explain, talk to me, because obviously you're not shy of sharing your vulnerabilities and whatnot, but Can you explain to me how that affected you and what it is that still kind of lingers?
Yeah, great question. So that year was like, that was just an insane year, because I had moved from North Carolina to Austin, Texas. And during that move is when the country shut down. And so like, I didn't even know what I was driving to, like, was my home going to be here? And so it was just a really lonely time of like leaving my pocket of best friends at that point to go somewhere brand new. And then to have, all the, like the hopes and dreams of what it would be. And then COVID happened and it just shut everything down. And so I think I went through like an identity crisis of like, well, what does this mean for me now? Like, did I just ruin everything? Did I just, throw away my life and now I'm stuck here? And so I went down, I was already a Casey Neistat fan at that point, but I went down that rabbit hole even deeper of like, I was binging his stuff, because it was just, I got so much enjoyment out of watching his content that it was an escape for me. And that's when he came up with his class of like, hey, you can become a YouTuber or a vlogger and tell stories. And so I signed up for that class, and I had so much enjoyment from doing that and like making little YouTube videos back then that it really helped kind of pass that time. And so I don't think there's anything that I'm holding on to now from the COVID era.
Good. Yeah, like I said, I still have kind of two friends that just struggle, and they, which is like, I don't know what it is. It's just there's a psychology that went through everybody when all that happened, and it's just kind of an interesting thing. And I know that you mentioned it, and so I wasn't sure if that was still kind of presented anything to you, or you found a way.
And everybody handled that differently, right? Like everyone's situation was different. I think, so I can totally understand where some people are still holding on to maybe it's a fear of trying something new, or the fear of something changing if they go down a certain path. And so that I totally understand that for people that do.
Let's talk about your podcast, because another thing that you jumped kind of into, and I remember, I think I was an early on guest of yours, and it was just like, hey, I'm gonna give this a shot now, right?
Yeah.
And it's been extremely successful. Like, you do a really good job, and it you know, if you were to look at all the paintball personality shows that are on YouTube right now with, you know, Brad, Ronnie, PTG, us, you, who else is out there that produces pretty regular content without the mashup videos, like we got Verbal and PB Fit, you know,
Yeah, in the pits, the coaches show.
the coach's show. Coach, I see you here. You know, each one gives an authentic and completely different varying type of content, right? An in-depth look at how the game is played, you know, a mashup of who knows what, a vlog type series, an action vlog series, and then I think what Brad does is incredible, because the amount of time that he takes to put into all that content. And then you got Will Ball also, who does his side of the things too. But again, I think it really well rounds everything out. And you and PTG are kind of similar, except yours is, you have this like very, I don't want to call it emotional, but an in-depth way of questioning.
Intimate, personal.
Yeah.
It's more stuff that's like,
That's
you know,
it.
just the one person. Or like sharing stuff that you don't regularly share.
Yeah, I think for me, it's the reason why that started, and it kind of ties back to the vlog, right? After, oh gosh, I think it was after World Cup this past year. I was driving somewhere with Amanda, my wife, and I was like, man, I'm missing something. Like, there's some creative itch I'm not scratching right now. And I was like, maybe I'll do like a vlog, you know, and like start up like, you know, documenting my paintball weekends and what that's like for the media. And she's like, I don't know if that's it. And so I was like, oh, I'm like, well, all right. And then she was like, what about a podcast? And I was like, absolutely not. There's no way. And then a week or so later, I'm like, hey, you know what? I think you may have been right. I think there's something there. And then that's just what I do. I jump, you know, 100% full feed into whatever I do. And the podcast, if I was going to do it, I wanted to stay consistent with it and jump in head first. But I wanted to do something different from everybody else. And what I crave when I'm watching anything sports related is, you know, I think a lot of people talk about HBO, the Hard Knocks series, where you're seeing the behind the scenes of the players and the teams. That's something I think that we, as a sport, we lack. You know, we don't have a lot of the behind the scenes where people get to know the players and they get to connect with, you know, what the players go through in their lives, or maybe what their day-to-day, their 9 to 5 is. And what I've noticed is, you know, bringing both of you on and bringing other people on too, whenever somebody shares a story, every single episode, there's at least one person that reaches out to either myself, the guest, or somewhere in the comments and say, hey, I connect with that, or wow, you're a firefighter. I am too. And like that gives that person now someone that they can look up to in the sport. And so that's where I think that the goal has been for me, is finding those stories in the sport that people can connect to. Because I think we need that so much in paintball.
And there are a lot of names. Paintball nerd Clint, I didn't forget about you. Joy of paintball. Literally.
What a good problem to have, though, right?
As
like
you started talking,
many.
I wrote his name down right here. I was like, okay, I got to say this one, and then I look up and he put his comment in there. I'm sorry, buddy. I should have looked. See, the problem is, I have my frame of reference right here because I've got his picture hanging up right there, but the camera's blocking it. So as I'm searching around in my pea brain here, and I'm looking in all directions, I didn't see the picture right there, so that was my bad. Make sure you guys go out there and check that out. What let's talk about Amanda, because she seems to be the rock that and you write about her as well. Obviously she's awesome, very supportive. It seems like she just is super easygoing, and seems like she's a home run, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we've been through kind of hell and back. You know, we had a lot of just really hard personal things that went on in our lives. And so we've just been through a ton together. And so I think having somebody like that made me realize that, one, I don't want to lose this person. But two, it was I had never been a vulnerable person before I met her. And everything, like all of the things that I was feeling or going through, I would just always shove it down and I would take it out somewhere, right?
Right where it's supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah. And she made me realize that like I need to talk about that stuff. And so the more I did, the more her and I connected. And we went through a lot, you know, like the first year or two going to the NXL events, it was a struggle because I'm there living a rock star life and people are walking up to me and like, hey, you're Shelda. Oh, you must be Dan's wife. You must be Mrs. Shelda. And so like she kind of lost a little bit of an identity there. And it just took a lot of really hard conversations to talk about like why is this important for me. And then she found a footing in it, which was kind of the start of the podcast. She did a whole Why Paintball account a few years ago that took off and exploded. But at some point she was like, hey, let's do an episode together. And it was, to this day, I still get comments from players that are listening to it where they're going to events where maybe their spouse is at home and the spouse just doesn't get it. The spouse doesn't get what paintball means to us, where we're going away for 2 or 3 days. Maybe we're maxing out a credit card to like hopefully win and, you know, come back and pay it off. And so many players, I think, go through that struggle that we went through that we shared on our episode. And it just impacted, it helped so many people. And a kind of a full circle moment for me, when I was younger, I had your old teammate, Tyler, I had his jersey on my wall, I think, I don't know, probably in high school. And I had heard at an event this year that he was obviously coaching Uprising. He had wanted to seek out me and seek out Amanda to thank us for the episode that we did because it helped him so much with his relationship. And it's like, that was just a complete mind-blowing moment where I found that photo of his jersey and like showed him, and then we took a photo together. So it's just, I've learned a lot where having a partner that you can rely on, it means the world. And Ryan Gray kind of taught me that a few years ago because I saw the relationship he had with his wife and like how she's his everything. And I was like, man, I need to do that. And I just think I took a lot for granted for a while. So yeah, I owe literally everything that I am doing in paintball to her, right? Because I'm gone for hours. I'll be gone for 2 or 3 days this weekend while she's here, you know, holding down the fort. And so if it wasn't for her, I don't think I'd probably be back involved in the sport.
Dude, shout out to the paintball wives. Hold on, where's the air horn? I'm hitting an air horn. Shout out to the paintball partners. How about that? Partners.
Yeah, partners. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Wives, husbands, non-binary, the whole deal.
Boyfriends, girlfriends, moms,
grandmas,
dads,
moms.
whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody.
Camille's up there too. She doesn't watch the show though.
How did the Hinman podcast go? You just released that a day ago?
Yeah, that dropped this morning.
Oh,
that was really good. He opened up a lot about what it's like to like behind the scenes of running both of the leagues. I don't think a lot of people know that his whole entire family has a hand in running it. Like even his kids are running it, and what it takes to run both of the leagues. You know, he did a great job this week posting on his stories, like his journey just from leaving California to drive this truck, just to get to the field days before to start setting up. Then he'll be there days after, you know, tearing it down. So it was really cool to see. I think what a lot of people are typically scared to talk to Mike because he's got such a strong personality, you know, in all the videos that we see online. It was definitely more of a human side to him that a lot of people aren't normal or they don't see a lot of. And he even said he was like, when you're at the events, come up and talk to me. I'm a nice guy, and he is.
Yeah.
As long as you don't as long as you're not an idiot, I think is kind of what it is. It's the bottom line.
Yeah.
He just doesn't take too well to idiots or people disrespecting him or his family. Don't mess with his family. Don't be an idiot and don't disrespect him. And he's a great dude, straight up. I think that's
it. You know,
and that's common. That's kind of like how it should go. That's just kind of how life should be.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's a great, family man. He sticks up for his people, and that goes back to his paintball days. He's always stuck up for his teammates.
What do you think your top 3? I don't want to give you limit you, but so handful of your favorite podcast guests that you've had on, or you like the outcome of how the conversation went. If someone, I guess this is a question too. If anyone hasn't listened to your podcast before, who are maybe top 4 or 5 that you would say these should be at the top of your list first?
I think I wouldn't do it justice if I didn't say probably Ryan and Oliver, right? Because those were just 2 guys I looked up to most of my life. But I think having Matty Marshall on, and then him opening up about the stuff that he went through, which is kind of whew, holy cow. One, thanks for opening up and being vulnerable and sharing with how deep he went through. I think those 2 or 3 are probably where I would start. The Ryan, your one, you'll know this. That was one that I was so nervous to do. And then when we started it, in the kind of the green room, I always test out the audio. I've learned to do that now. And I couldn't really hear Ryan very well. I'm like, hey, can you sit closer? It's Ryan adjusted his mic and all that. I'm like, it's still not the greatest. And you were like, well, I'm hearing an echo. I'm like, well, I'm not hearing it. I'm like, well, let's just roll with it. And so we recorded,
I think you told me about this when we did ours.
Yeah, close to 2 hours. Super early on. I think you were my 3rd or 4th guest, right? I dumped the footage to go edit it and chop it up. And every time you and I had spoke over each other, it doubled. And so I had to go edit almost every individual word for that episode. I was almost in tears of I just had on the the legend in the game, and this episode I'm going to either have to redo or just scrap completely.
I should get you on again.
yeah. So that's just one of those funny things. Looking back at it now, you learn from it. The same thing with the media shirt having on backwards and that imposter syndrome. But yeah, that's one I tell a lot.
It's funny, we were just talking about it in the last show. It's we've gotten good at the production side of things, and we're getting a little bit better at the pre-production side of things. But it was so funny kind of thinking back on we used to have a camera filming an iPad, as that's where you would be. And literally there's just a plug-in that I could just put the zoom in, and it's always been around. And we're like, no. We can't be bothered looking for something nice. And then we're like, it's kind of part of the shtick, And then the cameras were pretty lousy. Shout out to Rob and all of our fans for helping out, to the guys who were just dude, I just want to watch this, but it hurts my eyes to watch, so I'm just going to get you a camera, and it's really funny because it's the technical difficulties have gotten a lot better, but the production has gotten a lot better. But it's these funny things that if we were to go back and watch when we started this show back in whatever 3 or 4 months before the very first episode of PTG, we were doing it in our kitchen, our dining room, at the table, no light, none of this stuff, and Camille was I hate this thing, you just and now we're here, and it's funny because you kind of mentioned you can prep all you want for something, for this big thing, and you forget the batteries, or you forget your cleats, or you forget the lens that you just bought isn't in your camera bag. There's all these variables and these things that life throws at you, which should have been a controllable variable, but at this point it's all right, well, screw it, this is where we're at. We got to make this work, and if you want to, you can either try to redo it, but when you try to redo something live, and we try to do, it's not like you're gonna reshoot World Cup, right?
It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. You're gonna make it work, whether you have to go find a disposable camera, or you got to use your cell phone, or borrow someone's lens, and it's embarrassing sometimes, right? Yeah. You leave your cleats at the hotel, and it's your game's in 45 minutes, and your hotel's 20 minutes away. You're like, I got 2 options, and I got to make a decision right now. But that's the beauty of life, and the beauty of running into these unforeseen controllable variables that you just kind of botched a little bit.
There's actually a photographer at this last event, and it was, I think, his first event doing pro media. Maybe this story will resonate. I don't know if you talked to him at all, but he was like, I'm having issues with my camera and I don't really like know how to troubleshoot. I was like, because he wasn't there a lot, so he's not like super build a bunch of relationships where I would come to Ryan like, dude, you have a hopper that works? Like my hoppers. So I was like, why don't you, there's tons of media guys, maybe they know how to troubleshoot the camera. It's like, yeah, I guess I should probably do that a little more.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that because the media, and you guys will probably relate to this from a few years ago, like the media used to be a very toxic place. Like that media tent was either you're in that clique or you're not. Alex Sorensen, the guy who runs the social media for a while, he's done a great job of really flipping that. And so now whenever we have anybody in that tent, like we try to talk to everybody like, hey, what do you need? And we try to create that space where like if someone is struggling with something, they can just ask. And I even had somebody reach out to me after one of the events this year and they're like, hey, I'm so nervous to go into that tent. And so it's like, we're all doing the same thing. We're all here for the same reasons. But we psych ourselves out so much of not even putting an opportunity out there, right? Where if you go into that tent, it's going to be a whole different experience than what it used to be. And so I know exactly who you're talking about. We definitely helped that person out after too.
Nice. I was like, this seems like you could just ask somebody, they might be able to know. It's like, didn't seem like it could be that hard to.
But I mean, imagine this.
No,
like,
I know.
Imagine you jump over to Arsenal and you're like, all right, the name. All right, so Kyle, ABJ. Like we're calling out the line, and you're like, where's my loader? I don't have a barrel. I forgot my barrel. And it's like, shit, who do I ask? Like what do I say?
Or like,
do I go over to another pit?
Yeah, I change the batteries. I'm like, where are the batteries in this gun?
Yeah. So there's just like these little things, and I get it.
Yeah.
We
all go through it.
Yeah. Was there? I guess it's kind of like a two-part question. Was there anyone you think there's like the top guy before you started doing the photography where you like, man, this is my gave you a lot of inspiration?
So it was definitely there were a few guys. So Verbal was huge, and I talk about him in the book too. When I first started, I was just asking him the dumbest questions any photographer could ask of like different gear and settings. But he was a big person. David from No Souls Studios up in Paintball Fit was huge as well. And so those two guys really helped out a ton. But then once I finally started getting into it, I started to obviously have more of an eye for like who the photographers are. And for me to this day, it's still Philip, from HORMESIS. Like his work is unreal for what he does with the Great American Paintball magazine. And I don't think a lot of people know that paintball's not his full-time thing. He does so much media outside of paintball. Where if you ever see any of his work that's in a professional setting, where he's doing shoots or other studios, it's unreal of what he does. So I just think he captures some of the most, it's what I look for in a photo. He captures a lot of feeling whenever I see his work.
Sure. So and I guess, the second part of it, you probably already answered that, but it's like, you don't have to say current favorite other photographers or work that has been really impressing you lately, maybe?
Lately, J Mac, he used to shoot for the league. He's been doing a lot of, when he travels to the events, he'll actually try to tack on other sporting events. Like he'll go shoot college football or like MLS soccer. And so it's cool to see him stepping into, different sports, and like the work he's producing in that space is just killer. And then it's been really cool to see some of the newer media folks up on the pro media scene, like Almighty. He's a guy out of the Northeast, out of Matt's Outback Paintball. He's been killing it. And then Justin out of, I think he's Vital Images. He does a lot of the leverage media. Like his work is killer too. So we've got folks that are hitting the pro field for the first time this season, and like their work is just skyrocketing.
Nice.
Sick. So what advice would you give not as from somebody who's trying to break into the industry, but someone who's dealing with, I guess, insecurities or it doesn't have to just generally be the imposter syndrome, you know,
Yeah.
but just I think insecurities are something that plague humans in general, and obviously people put on a front and become this imposter essentially in order to try to overcome them, but I just don't know that that's obviously the best way to deal with it. But what would you give advice in that sense?
Yeah. Oh gosh, the timing of this question is so good. Not just because of the book. That I had an interaction Sunday at my local field, and I won't say his name, but there's a younger kid there who, every time he steps on the field, you can just, I think we all have seen it, the player who's afraid to get shot, right? Or who wants to show up and like wear the jersey, wear a cool headband, just wants to look cool, or wants to look the part. I think we've all seen it from time to time again. And he calls himself out all the time. And so I pulled him aside and I said, hey, I'm going to give you some life advice right now. And like, he's like, you know, he's what, 14, 15 or 16 years old. And I said, you got to stop lying to people. I said, you have to first start having a conversation with yourself of like why you're here. What is it that you really want? If you're afraid to get shot, that's just, you're showing up every weekend and you're just driving that fear, and it's just going to make it harder to come out of. And I told him, I said, what you're going through is exactly what I went through when I was your age. I was that same kid who I just wanted to look cool, just wanted to wear the cool JT mask. And I wish someone pulled me aside and gave me the advice I'm going to give you, 30 some odd years ago. And he lost it. Like you could tell, like I hit something in him that he had been struggling with, but like no one ever really pulled him aside to like say, hey, it's okay to do that. And so full circle, the piece of advice is to look internally and have that conversation with yourself first of, man, I'm really uncomfortable here, or I'm afraid to ask for the hopper. Why? What's the why behind it? And then once you do that, whether it's a teammate or a partner or a family member, talk to them about it too. Because there's something about sharing vulnerability with somebody where if you say, hey, I'm struggling with this, oftentimes you'll hear, holy cow, well, I'm struggling with this, this, and this. And like, it just creates such a relatable conversation now where you have two people who are struggling with whatever it is, not talking to each other about it. You just created this beautiful way where you both can connect with each other.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Would you, totally kind of side quest with that, from that whole thing, would you wear a tie-dye shirt?
Yeah, totally. If it's the JT one that you're talking about.
No, just any tie-dye shirt.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, okay. Well, I just know that there's that stigma you have with the disc golf thing, and you're just not sure, and just.
Oh okay. No,
so I just didn't want you to like. I wasn't sure because like it's out of your shell, right? You always wear. You got your thing. I know your Shelter Elite line that's on jtpaintball.com is a louder type of thing. You got like the logos everywhere. But I was just kind of thinking because I want to say that the story was like you were a little embarrassed about disc golf because there's a stigma attached to it.
Totally. Yeah. And a big part of the stigma is the same thing. It's the tie-dye. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
It's the whole like tie-dye thing. People think it's a lot of hippies and whatnot. But yeah, I would totally wear a tie-dye shirt.
Well, and the other thing is you kind of you gotta have a little bit of confidence to wear it. Right.
Sure.
There's a lot of people who have one of the insecurities is like, how do I look? I need to present myself in the way that I project the vision that I see a person that looks good and acts this way. But if you can't put on clothes that you think is just kind of out of the bubble or out of the norm, that's a good way to kind of, I don't want to say get out of your shell, but break through this insecurity. Is like, I'm going to kind of wear this shirt around and people are going to look at me and be like, and I kind of did it. Like I can that's like a first step,
Yeah. What's actually crazy with that, HORMESIS, right? Like we all know this legendary paintball brand sponsors my podcast. And so I get a lot of gear from them. They sent me one of their denim jackets earlier this year and like, I loved it and I wanted it so bad. And then I was like, there's no way I'm wearing this to work. Like my confidence just like it tanked. I'm like, people are going to everyone's going to stare at me because it's a completely different look from what everyone wears at work. And so I did it for a while, and then I did exactly what you did. I wore it one day, and
Ton of compliments.
it's like a ton of comments like, hey, where's that from? That's such a cool jacket. And then I got to tell the story behind it and what it means. And so it completely changed that moment. And so now I'll grab that jacket and not even think twice about it when I wear it. But putting yourself out there is the important part.
It really does. It shakes up that preconceived notion of how you're supposed to fit in, look, feel. Like I like black shirts. I would like to wear a black shirt, not just because I spill stuff on myself all the time, but I feel like it looks good and it's subtle, and you can kind of you get by and you look good. Neutral tones, tans, blacks. Yeah, I don't wear white anymore, but dark blue. I want a solid colored item. But when we had Oliver on that one time too, every time that I do wear something that's a little bit more flamboyant and exciting, you feel differently about it. Like when you wear that Spick and Span shirt, for instance, right there, it's it's not your everyday thing, but when you do it, you get different looks from different people, and it's a way to kind of build your confidence, to be completely honest. And that really is, right?
I think we spend a lot of time worrying about what everyone else is thinking, when in reality they're probably not even thinking about you, or if they see you,
they could care less about you.
Exactly.
Really, it's you are not someone else's problem. If you're walking down the street, if I'm biking down the boardwalk and I'm, unless you're naked or you're Chris Sawtell in a dress, that's when you start getting a little creeped out. But for the most part, you're just you're not someone, the person isn't going to be I need to go home and tell my friends about this guy wearing a tie-dye shirt or a HORMESIS jacket or something like that. It's literally something that, but for yourself, I think it's really good for you mentally is to do something like that. Just be oh wow, it's
Yeah, there's something about putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, because you just learn so much from it, whether you stick with it or not. But you're at least going to learn something from it.
That's it. That is right. But don't go breaking any laws, everybody.
Yeah,
I'm
definitely
giving you guys advice. There's a Spicka Span Show told me to do it. Well, all right, Dan. I appreciate it, man. I think this is very helpful. Like I said, to a lot of people, I think there's something in here that pretty much everybody can resonate with, and it's great how, like you said, vulnerable you are, and that that's another thing. You just kind of explain things that a lot of people don't like to talk about. They're uncomfortable, and it humanizes them and you and everybody, because it's confidence issues especially are something that every single human on planet Earth deals with in one shape or form. So sharing a real journey in how you got to the place where you are. And again, everybody has their Everest, or everybody has their pro field, right? Where it's what their achievement is, whether it's the girl that you haven't talked to that's sits across from you in school, or it's the job that you didn't want to apply for. It's this, whatever it is, there's something out there that you can just take the leap, because you won't know until you know. And you can prepare yourself all you can, or you can go in there and shoot from the hip, and but you won't know till you know.
And that's exactly it. And I think I got to a point in my life where I didn't want to be 80, 90 years old and look back and be like, man, what if I did that? You just live in regret at that point. And so I think recently legacy has been really important for me, of what am I going to leave behind, and what do I not want to regret when I get to that point? And that's helped drive a lot of, I think, what I've done the past few years.
Very cool. Yeah, there it is too. What is the legacy?
Yep.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate it. I have a link. I've been putting the link in there, you guys.
Awesome.
There is a link in the description of the show to get your hands on the book. We're gonna give away 2 hard copies of the book that we're gonna order from Amazon, because you guys can get this on Amazon. I believe you were number 2 in the action sports space.
Yeah, I mean, what a cool. Let me check now.
There's different categories, right?
Yeah, so when I did it, there's different categories whenever you're publishing a book. And so I did, I think, sports biography, And then extreme sports was the one that I really wanted to focus on. And so we're number 2 right now in new releases. And then I think it's like, I don't know, 10 or somewhere 10 to 13 for like bestsellers in extreme sports categories. So there is a chance where I think with support from the community, we could be a number 1 bestseller for extreme sports. Would be wild to have anything paintball related tied to number 1 in extreme sports.
It's sick. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So make sure you guys, if you guys have gotten the book, go on to the link down there as well and leave a review for the book as well. Because that obviously helps the algorithm, liking, sharing, doing all of that stuff. There's an audiobook too if you guys are don't know how to read, which is I don't want to say any of our audience, obviously, because we have the smart guys in the Spick and Span show.
Exactly.
But,
you've got the best audience. Second best audience. Mine's pretty good.
That's good. That's right. Your guys can read also, I think.
Yeah, but it's a
some of
quick
the other,
read.
Some of the other podcasters, I don't know if anybody in the coaches show can read.
No, I'm not going to comment on that.
No, they're the smart ones too. They're the smart ones too.
Yeah.
I say that as the camera goes out of focus.
One thing I'll throw, since you were doing 2 giveaways, throw a third one up there, and then I'll throw in a signed copy as well, and I'll throw a HORMESIS headband in with that package.
Nice.
Ooh. With a headband, dude, sick.
Yeah.
Awesome. Actually, here, what we'll do right now is we're gonna spin the wheel right now for this one, so that way, while you're still on here, you get to witness
Sweet.
it. You get to witness the signed copy. We're gonna give this out to. This will be for all members. This will be a cool all member access kind of deal here. Bingo. So yeah, here we go. All right, we're spinning it right now. The wheel of name, coded by Kyle Spicka.
While you're spinning it, for anyone that's going to USXGL this weekend, if you have ordered the book, bring it with you, and I'll be signing copies throughout the weekend.
Nice. There we go. All right, Jace. I will get you Jace's
Awesome.
email here. JEECYCE. Cool. Yeah, I think I got his address. So I'll send that over to you. And Dan, anything else you want to say before you bail?
I appreciate your support. Working with you over the past few years on different projects that we've done has just been awesome. And obviously longtime listener, longtime fan of the show. So it's cool to have it come full circle and to finally be on. It means a lot.
Sick. Well, thank you, dude. I appreciate it. Your photos rock. And yeah, man, I appreciate all the content.
Awesome.
Keep it up.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Can't wait for the third book. It could be anything.
I'm working on it. I'll work on it soon.
Could be anything. Adults, children, we got it all.
We'll do it both.
All right. Thanks, Dan.
See you guys.
See ya.
Later.
Booyah. All right. Well, shout out to Dan. Thank you for coming on. A great show. Dude. Excellent. Everybody who's out there, again, I think just in general supporting, I think we've mentioned it a bunch of times, but like obviously supporting the sponsors who support your favorite paintball endeavors, whether it's your favorite team, whether it's your favorite podcast, your show, whatever it is, if there is a sponsor, especially one that kind of does a lot for a lot of different things, Pate does sponsors move of the event at the NXLs, making sure that it takes care of the players. The Gen X guys sponsor a lot of players. Their outreach is there. BFP Gear, I think, sponsors 3 or 4 different podcasts and YouTube shows, along with a handful of really good teams. And that's always really good to be able to support those types of people. And I'll bring some Sawtell. I'll bring some nectar before cup. Need some before cup. Well, Chris, what we'll do is we're gonna do a boat squad. We're gonna do a boat squad giveaway this month, and I'm not sure what we're gonna give away, but it's gonna be something dope. And I'll bring some there. My favorite flavor is that mint. It's the green mint, the glacial mint. That's my favorite. I like the minties.
I went to the to Top Golf the other day, and I think we need to show this video because I was getting a lot of flack
Yeah, let's see it.
Story. Everyone's like, your swing trash. You don't know how to hit the ball. But I just want to show this.
Dude, Kyle's good at golf.
Dude,
Kyle's good at a lot of things, and he just doesn't like doing any of them. That's it. Do we have any juice? I don't know what the juice is, Meter. We don't have the... It's like juicy season is literally 30 days away. In 30 days, we're gonna be squirting everywhere. The juice is. Not we, but like the juice is gonna be squirting. That doesn't work either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got it? Yeah. We've got... Yeah, dude, there's all sorts of juice floating around here, too. Not that either. Tyler Hansen.
I thought there's like a place you can save that.
What are you trying to do? Is
Save
that your
the video.
Are you using Instagram? You can't save Instagram videos. How annoying is that?
I just did it the other day.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, but...
Are you on the Instagram app? You got to do it on CapCut. Damp. Yeah, it's damp right now, and it's going to be moist here right after Halloween, and then it's going to be pretty juicy right around Thanksgiving. God, the innuendos are pretty terrible.
Oh, here it is. So you have to go to watch it.
Yeah. And then what happens?
And then you scroll over to the right and you can click save.
Where?
So
oh, download.
Here,
There's a little
yeah,
download
you
button.
scroll all the way.
No shit.
So I'm going to save it and I'm going to send it to you. And you get it.
Okay, so stay tuned because we're going to do a boat and mega member support status really quickly. Here, we're gonna do a little wheel spin because I've got the 2 other copies right there, and we're gonna give away a couple more things, and then we're gonna grace everybody with Kyle Spicka's.
I just edited so in between I'm putting the ball on the tee. Just see these 5 in a row.
Okay, hold on. Okay,
Carl, crank them.
That's what they call
home run derby.
That's what they call Kyle's
Gilmore
alter ego is Carl Crankum. Hold on. Media source. All right. Carl Crank. So I do actually. We should do maybe we can do it with your AI wizard skills, but do a polymarket type of thing of where players are going to go, who's going to stay on what teams. If we can get that
we could
going,
probably.
Oh, well, I have to accept it.
Who knows? By that time, we could have AGI. So we could.
By that time, in a month?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just.
I don't know. I hope we don't. I sure hope not. Oh, hold on. Okay, here's
You might want to turn the sound on. I don't know how loud that thing is. Here, I can check.
Well, here I'll Carl Crankum. Let's turn the sound down.
You still need. No, hold on. Play it.
Well, I have audio.
Yeah, but I just don't know how loud it is because
I know,
there's music and stuff playing. But
Yeah,
you gotta hear the ball.
I got it.
Getting hit.
Okay, so there's one. So people are making fun of you?
No, but it was just a still shot. Marissa put up something and I shared it.
They're going dead straight.
Yeah.
Is that ball still in the air up there?
Wait, that's the moon.
Oh. That one had a little bend on it. Little Carl Crankum.
That's right. All you haters out there.
On the little left, but that one was good. Is this all of them? This is the last one?
That might. No, there was.
Whoa! Oh, yeah, you look like you're in pain after that last one.
Yeah, I read those.
Dude, let's give it to him.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see it. Let's go.
I think that's a little.
That's right.
Oh, here's an even better thing. So Damien then sends me a message on it, and he says, "Fresh invite."
Uh-huh.
And
His
he has
foot's broken.
One, he has a boot, and then 2, do you know if there's a Topgolf in San Diego?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think there is. No.
So where was
Ontario,
that one?
in Ontario by the airport. I went and coached on Saturday. I had to go back to SC Village, so we just got a cheap hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And that happened to be there, so I was like, oh, tight. We did have to wait 2 hours and 45 minutes to get it.
Dude, speaking of cranking, Top Golf cranks.
Yeah.
Top Golf is a cranker. That's a big one. That's a big one. All right, where'd the screencast go? All right,
My
we've
back
got.
always hurts after that though.
Yeah, but we swinging like that constantly. Of course, your back hurts after. You first of all gotta stretch maybe a little bit, which I'm sure you didn't do. You're also like your back in general is.
Doc, what club?
Doc,
I don't know the brand. I think
Doc, it's just like a Top
Golf
club. It's made for so that anybody can hit it.
Yeah.
Not to take anything away from Kyle, but literally anybody can hit that club.
I use the I think it says the 3 wood. I got some flex in it.
There you go. Heard that.
Oh, I got a test for you.
Oh, Crystal.
You know the word
Crystal almost won my entire Rigetti
conscious
portfolio.
You know what that word means?
Conscious? Yeah.
What's the conjugation of it? What's the act of being conscious?
I don't. What do you mean?
There's another word.
There's
see if you say it. How you say it?
Consciousness?
No.
Okay.
If I'm being conscious, it's the next word. Well, no, it's not the next word. It's a. I don't know if it's called an adverb or.
Like if you're describing somebody who's.
No, it's yeah, I'm conscious. There's a word you say. I just don't. If I say it, then it's gonna mess up the what I'm trying to do here.
No, then I don't know the answer.
Someone might write it. Yeah. So
awake, dream,
no.
Conscientious. It's not. I don't think that's it.
Yeah.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I was. This didn't go as planned.
Yeah. What was the whole game?
But I said it like that to a couple of people I was thinking, and then nobody could say the word correctly.
Conscientious.
Yes, you started to mess it up there.
Conscientious.
Yeah.
I did it perfectly.
I don't know how. It's weird. It's you guys go test it out with your friends and parents, whoever, wives, kids, husbands. Yeah. But I don't know.
So are we just trying
I'm still working on this, how to get this wrote out. We were talking about it, and then I couldn't say the word, and was like, this is a little bit of a.
I'm confused as to what the question was.
It's just you know how to say the word, but then as you start saying it a couple times, it's you can't.
Yeah. So that was the other thing is I don't think that. Oh, okay. Relating to a person's conscious. So I didn't know that was. I thought it was this.
Is that?
Yeah. I thought it was I didn't think that it had anything to do with the word conscious. I thought it had something to do with whatever that you're doing what you're supposed to do. I don't know. Never mind. Well, okay. So anyway, that was an interesting bit of trivia there at the end. I may not be a smart man, but I do know what love is. All right. I'll see everybody next week. For Carl Crankham show is out.
Get out to the driving range. You gotta listen to the full volume.
I didn't hear it.
BFP Span Show.
Did you guys put Nicki Minaj on?
No, we don't run the music at this whole place. Crank.
Carl Crankham.